Hey everybody, welcome to this behind the scenes bonus process video for the beautiful jazz classic Body and Soul, one of the great jazz ballads. And it's not an easy song, but it's a fun song to examine. Django Reinhardt recorded it. All the jazz greats recorded it. It really is one of the stock songs to know in your repertoire. I'm going to analyze it with you here. We're going to talk about some chord selections and experiment. This is what I like to do in these behind the scenes bonus process videos, is try out a few different things. Now, I've already kind of began the work here, so I'm going to kind of walk you through what I've done so far. We're in the key of D flat major, and I always suggest, analyze the song, understand the chord progression so that you can add some substitutions and also choose your extensions or alterations accordingly. We're in the key of D flat major, that's relative to B flat minor. You should know all the chords in the key of D flat major: the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, and the 7, and the 1. Now, I'm not talking through each one of those, I'm just playing them, but I am stressing the importance of understanding the harmonized scale to know the 1 is major 7, the 2 is minor 7, the 3 is minor 7, the 4 is major 7, the 5 is dominant, I'm using a 13 here, the 6 is minor 7, the 7 is half dim, and then back to the 1. This song starts off on the 2, and it tonicizes the 2, so that means I'm going to go to the 5, and then right back to the 2. But now that 2, well, for a second there, that 2 was kind of the 1. So when you're soloing, that's important because you'll have that E flat minor, and then you'll kind of target E flat minor as like the home. But then that 2 then becomes a 2-5 sequence, A flat 7 to the D flat major. Now we're in the key of D flat. So it kind of has some really small little movements here for soloing and comping that you do want to think about, is these small little modules of key center changes. And that's often, you'll see that you'll hear me say secondary dominance, because there'll be dominant chords for those structural chords to tonicize those areas. So let's go ahead and get started here. The first chord is E flat minor. That's what you'll see on the chart. The melody is on the root 9 root, and then to the B flat 7, and it's the 5th. I won't analyze the whole melody here. Please check out my Gypsy Jazz Boot Camp lesson, where I do go through the whole melody and the chords, okay, the complete analysis. This is where experimenting here is a little bit more of an advanced lesson, but these are just general things that I always say be able to do and understand theoretically and to know your chords. E flat minor, if I was just to chunk it out in this style, that's what I would do. Kind of Django, more old school. I would stick to just triads and basic sevenths. However, I want it a little bit more ballady, so I'm going to add E flat minor 9, B flat 7. That's a little boring. We might do D dim 7 to give us that flat 9. Okay, I wrote B flat 7. Again, I'm kind of just keeping it pretty standard. We could even do B flat 7 like this, and add the flat 9 over here. So I'm just taking a B flat 7, and then finding my octave, and going up half step. And these are things you want to experiment. My heart is sad. See what I mean? That sounds beautiful. And lonely. E flat minor 9. A flat 13. I'm even adding the 9 on, kind of preparing for chord melody. But if I was backing up a singer, I would just do this. Then D flat major 7. I wrote D flat major 9, and that adds a little bit of color. The melody's on the 5th. And then it goes to the 4 chord, but it's supposed to be, the 4 is supposed to be major 7, but it's dominant. That gives it a really bluesy feel. And it's almost like taking the 1 chord, D flat, and making it minor. That's what I'm thinking for soloing purposes. So let me go ahead and fix this here so that it matches to what I am playing here. D flat major 9. Instead of the 7. Okay. And again, I'm taking you through this little process, and I'll give you time to look and examine some of these chord voicings, which may be new for you. And again, I'm choosing a lot of 9s here on a ballad because I want it really lush and colorful. G flat 9. I could have did G flat down here as a 13th. Okay, I just chose it up high. Again, I chose this B flat 7 like this, but I added that flat 9 to get some of that color. Sometimes I might just go to D dim 7. So you might go E flat minor 9, D dim 7. See? And let the bass player play that B flat in the bass. So that's called rootless when you're thinking off of a note other than the root on your voicing. E flat minor, A flat 13, to the D flat major, 9. Now, because that's a 2-5, if you wanted some cool color, you can just simply make it tritone substitution. So instead of the A flat, you can go tritone D, 9, dominant. You have to substitute a dominant. So it'll be like this, E flat minor 9. And I kept them all as 9s. That's kind of something I really like to do, is keep it the same consistent color. E flat minor 9, D9, D flat major 9, G9, or G flat 9 rather, E F minor 9, so all 9s, E dim 7, and that's kind of a walk down, the 3 to the flat 3 dim, very, very common for the diminished use, and then to the E flat minor. Now here I just chose a triad. This is one thing I like to do because I'm going to walk the bass down, and that now creates a minor 7. So it kind of creates some movement that way. Instead of making it minor 7, I make it minor triad. And then the movement there. And then you C minor 7, flat 5. These are stock grip shapes there. Get that bass. C minor 7, flat 5 is the same as E flat minor 6. So that's basically just all a prolongation, just with some bass movement. It's kind of doing this thing. And this. And then F7. Of course, that's pulling us to the B flat minor. And you could, that's the secondary dominant. F7 is the 5 of B flat minor, which is a relative minor of D flat, as we talked about. 2, 5. And then that was B flat minor 7 to E flat 9. And then turn that to minor. And then 2, 5, back home to D flat. And here I chose D flat 6, 9. You can make it a major 9, 6, 9. You can even just go root. D flat 6. It's a little bit bland, but it still sounds nice like this. And then A flat 13. And the melody is actually this. It's kind of bluesy. Body and soul. So you could even go if you wanted to. And I'm just again looking here at this melody. That was the first A section. And I went A flat 13. Pretty colorful here. This is again that quick 2-5, 2-5 happening here. It's called a delayed cycle. You have B flat minor 7, E flat 9, 2, 5, and then turn that 2 or 5 into a 2, and then 5 back home. You make it a 9, and then B flat 7 sharp 5 as a turnaround. You can add the flat 9. If you want that color, that's coming out of the harmonic minor scale. Or you can make it a flat 5. If you wanted it, it sounds more like Thelonious Monk or Django. Again, too, to throw in those flat 5s. Now I'm at the second A section, which is pretty much like the first A. Of course, different words. I spend my days in longing. Do I want to go to D flat major 7 here this time? Sure. You know, before I went to major 9, but maybe you just want to do major 7. And then it's nice to change it up to have a few different routes here. G flat 13. And then instead of going up to F minor 9 here, maybe I'll go to F minor 7. Then E dim. Again, that's one way of approaching it. Then the E flat minor, maybe here. So I went like this. E flat minor triad, as we did over here before. And then E flat minor slash D flat, which is really just a G flat 6 chord, by the way. If you know that E flat minor 7 equals G flat 6. And then E flat minor 6, which is C minor 7 flat 5. So again, it's just all about the walk down. This. And minor 7. I added some color there, sharp 5, or we could even do tritone sub there. I'm not sure that's going to sound like. Tritone of F is B natural, and then notice it's a 2-5 going to B flat minor. That's why it should work theoretically. Let's try this out. I don't know how this is going to sound. Right here. Ooh, I like that. Oh, sorry, that was wrong. And then I'll make a separate video working out a chord melody arrangement. I don't have one yet, but I'll do this process with you. But you can already kind of tell this, doing the comping idea, melodic comping, especially on ballads, you want to take into consideration some of these notes. It's just that you'll have stuff like this. Now we're going into the B section here, 2-5, into the key of D major, so it goes up a half step. That really gives it a very uplifting feel, like going up half step. So that's just a good songwriting tool technique here. We're in the key of D flat, and then just simply put a 2-5 to go to D major now. Now it kind of does this beautiful walk up. D major 7, the 1, the 2, the 3, or it could be as a minor 7, or it could be as a 1 with a 3 in the bass. Okay. And it kind of, you'd want to look at the melody. The melody actually says D, so I would choose D major triad with the 3rd in the bass. But it would not be bad if you played F sharp minor 7. It's actually easier. And then it kind of is shifted as a minor 4, G minor in the key of D. I'm just analyzing it here a little bit. It's not a song that I play often, so very rarely actually, so it's kind of fun to re-examine it here with you. And again, I am going to be teaching it in my Gypsy Jazz Bootcamp class. By the time this video gets published here on Patreon, it might already have happened, I'm assuming. Here's that B section. We got 2-5, E minor 7, and notice I'm not writing it. I'll go ahead and take care of that after the fact, so you don't have to sit and watch me type in each one of these. D major 7. I'm just going to keep it standard. E minor 7. I can't believe it. So walk up and D slash F sharp. Okay, here's F sharp minor 7, but here's D slash F sharp. So just think of a D triad and get the 3rd in the bass, and then G minor 7, C7. But when I'm looking at the G minor here on the word conceive it, that's an A note. Well, the A is the 9, and the A is the 13 of C. So that might be a good choice. Again, here I am auditioning it. And that A note's supposed to be at the 11, so I'm not going to worry about it too much by getting all the colors, but again, I like to listen to it like this. So again, that's kind of bringing out the melody. That's often what I call melodic comping, is the idea of trying to have a melody, if not the real melody, kind of in there. And then, and again, now is the first 4 bars of the B section. If I were just to keep it a little bit more standard, just chunking it out like this. Those were quick changes there. So I did 2-5-2-5, 3-6-2-5, 3-6-2-5, which is just a chain of 2-5 sequences. This, just to lead you back to the 1. But notice I'm actually doing 3-note shapes, which is nice. And then turn that to minor. Okay, that was D major 7, by the way. So I went, and here's 4-note shapes if you want to do 4-note shapes. It's a little bit more work. Not even needed. D minor 7. I Are you pretending? G9. Again, I'm looking at the melody. This is kind of a turning into a chord melody lesson here a little bit. And that's the root E minor. And then E flat dim, that's the flat 3 dim. Oh, we're in the key of C now, by the way, I didn't say this. But once D major turns to, once D major turns to minor, that's pulling us to the key of C here. G13, then E flat dim, D minor, and then G7. And then is it going to go to C major? It does not. It goes to C7. And that's a little walk down chromatic to the B flat 7. Pretty crazy B section, if you ask me. It starts off on a D major walk up. 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. And then that one turns to minor, modulating here, kind of a delayed cycle. G9, and then E minor. And we're in the key of C, E flat dim, the flat 3 dim. Notice I took a little different route there, just to try out some different things. And then the last A. My life. Tritone sub? Sure. See what I mean? I'm just trying out these different tricks, these different subs. We could have did diminished substitution here. Let's just finish it out. I'm going to get these grids on here for the class tonight. By the time you see this again, you'll have grids on here. But by watching this, you get to see me working through these different options. So we have tritone. Yeah, I am kind of doing some chord melody here. And then F minor. Now I'm just kind of chunking it out a little bit. And that was B flat minor 7. I want to add an E flat 9. Sometimes not all players, well, it doesn't show that on the fake book charts, but most players will put an E flat 9 here. So you get 2, 5, and then turn that 5 into 2, 1. And it definitely sounds resolved to hit that D flat 6. And that B flat 7 here, add some color. Sharp 5, flat 5, flat 9, sharp 5, flat 9. Okay, add some color, sharp 5, sharp 9. Let's see. You know, you can experiment with some different chord colors there. Let's try that last 8 again. I'm trying some different things out, I guess. And then how am I going to end it? D flat 6. Or maybe if I wanted to, half step above. D major 7. And then D flat 6. Okay, that's kind of a nice ballad thing to do. Is the singer will go body and soul. Then you get the root. So they're hanging on that major 7 by going a half step above. So I went to D major 7 and then save the resolution. They're holding that note. So this is a behind the scenes bonus process video. Hope you enjoyed today's lesson. We'll see y'all next time.